All right. Well, a very, very happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of the TNC Sports Talk. Welcome to a new year of podcasting here on the TNC Sports Talk. Thank you for everyone who is tuning into us, whether it's on your audio apps or on our social media pages, YouTube and whatnot. It is a brand new year. I hope everyone had themselves a wonderful holiday weekend, New Year's weekend, a lot of football across the skies as we saw the wrap up of NFL Week 18, the Pro Bowl games ending, college football games advanced and improved. And on today's episode, I'm going to kind of keep it narrow and simple. I wanted to recap and talk about the Bengals versus the Browns and how the Bengals lost against the Browns in the final game. It was kind of one of those bittersweet moments when you think of it because it all came down to a field goal at which the Bengals won their last game in Cleveland, week one, to a field goal. And the Browns win this one with a field goal. We'll talk about that. We'll also want to dive into uh, professional wrestling this afternoon as we talk about the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship set to be defended to tonight and on Friday. So we'll talk about those matches and give you my opinions and takes on the year. Um, look, um, Grassroots, Enlightened Studios, written and directed by Terry Chappell. They are officially in rehearsal mode coming up this past weekend. Got a chance to hang out with some of the cast crews, watch some of the rehearsals, and I got to tell you, I praise a lot about Enlightened Studios and the way that they hold themselves, carry themselves in the productions, and everything that they do in the performing arts. But I got to say that it still, for some reason, amazes me how much Enlightened Studios improves from last production. And, I'm excited for what 2026 has in store for them. So if you guys haven't gotten your tickets yet to Grassroots, head on over to tickettailor.com. A link will be in the description below. And I want to say, let's go out there and let's support Enlightened Studios all together. Um, I want to kind of just take a moment and reflect on 2025 for a moment. You know, I'm not trying to be here and talk religiously to you. This is a sports channel, not a religious channel, but I did find myself reconnecting with my faith. And when we talk about coming back to a new year and new goals and new intentions that we may have, one of the things that I can't help but carry over into this year is keeping myself with faith. Um, I attend service. I've this past year I've saw myself, you know, volunteer with my church, and I was rebaptized back in December, and all of this circles back around to how much more I want to improve this year. And with that being said, my intentions for 2026 is just to continue building my faith with the church. They just started this 21-day fasting, which is completely new to me. And I'm partaking in it. I'm partaking I'm not doing the whole Daniel's fasting or the only vegetables or just water. I'm doing it kind of like the time frame. So I'm almost more of an intermediate fasting where I'm not eating all day and I'm just devoting my time to staying busy. And I do feel it. Only second day doing it. I do feel it. Hurts. I tell you, I'm ready to go eat something. But one thing I've noticed, it's also not fun when you start eating it again because you have this window where you want to eat, you want to be able to get some food and out of the way, and when you start eating and you start filling up when your stomach has been emptied, it's like, all right, well, hold on, what are you doing here? It takes a moment back. So, fasting is not for the faint of heart. It's not easy, um, but it is something that kind of reconnects us and shows us where our faith lies within the church. So within Christ, our Savior. So just carry me through the next 21 days and track my journey. As far as New Year's resolution goes, I just want to continue and put out the best product I could possibly put out for. I know there's a million podcasts out there. I know they have their own little unique takes and opinions about what sports looks like out there in the world. But I give my unique experience and opinions that may be right, may be wrong. And so I just want to continue to thrive, continue to grow this channel. I don't know the direction with gaming as far as 2026. I want to make sure I give credit where credit's due. A lot of my channel success cannot come without the help from gaming, turning my podcast over into a gaming console and uploading baseball, football, wrestling. So I want to thank to the gaming, but I also want to be committed. So if I start a season, I want to be able to finish it. And it did become very difficult towards the fall of this year to stay committed to the game. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to finish NFL Madden 26, but what it means is that I don't know what the future holds for the gaming part of this channel. So wherever that holds, um, let me know down in the comments. I think one of your feedback gives me the best idea of what 2026 looks like. And so if you guys leave me in a comment saying, "Yeah, I like the gaming, I like the AI content," then I'll probably stick with it. But if you don't, then let me know and we can best move this channel forward to what we have going through. So talked to you guys last time before we went on our little New Year's break, and we talked about um the insights of my partnership with Enlightened Studios. I am acclimating, that's my best term to call it, with this product. When I with this partnership, and I specifically say that because I'm stepping outside my comfort zone, which is frustrating but yet satisfying when something does fall through. And I'm outside my comfort zone so that I can really expand my horizon. That's kind of my goal. And so I believe in Enlightened Studios. I believe in Terry and Nikhil and what they're all doing. And I find myself, doing my best, and I'm gonna get it right at some point. Wherever that point is, I will get it right, and we will be working on providing social media content and whatnot to Enlighten Studios. Support them. If you're in the area, head out to one of their events, head out to their theater productions, and let's support what they have envisioned, because what they have envisioned is something more powerful than anything than it can imagine. So, Enlighten Studios, like, share, and subscribe. Can't say that enough. All right, let's get down into the sports discussions here. Um, let's talk about those Bengals and those Browns. And boy, I want to clear something up just briefly about last week and something I said. You know, I didn't necessarily watch the Browns and Steelers game the previous week, week 17. What I saw out of that game, I will admit, it was a lot of defense. But when I went to the comparison between Aaron Rodgers and Shador Sanders, I wasn't trying to state anything that Shador Sanders has stepped up, has played a good game, and he's better than Aaron Rodgers. That's not the case. Aaron Rodgers has created a Hall of Fame um, portfolio. Joe Burrow has created a Hall of Fame portfolio. Lamar Jackson has created a Hall of Fame portfolio through their tenors in the National Football League. What I was referring that to was that you have this rookie quarterback that was drafted low in the draft this past year, was not really given a forefront understanding or acceptance into the Cleveland Browns. He was like, well, we just picked them up just to pick them up. And no one really had interest in seeing any value in Shedeur Sanders heading into this season. When he finally gets the nod to play on the field, it's not perfect. Yeah, as a matter of fact, he has a lot to learn. But what I will argue and testify with is that Shedeur Sanders, when he's going up against these quarterbacks, you also want to see it's a quarterback ratio. He didn't outperform Aaron Rodgers. He didn't outperform Joe Burrow this past Sunday. But at the tail of the tape, when you don't look in between the lines, and you look at the picture, the Browns beat the Steelers and the Browns beat the Bengals. So in reference, when you think of the Browns right now, who's running the offense? That's Shedeur. Who's running the offense for Pittsburgh? That's Aaron Rodgers. Well, you have a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback going up against a rookie quarterback that has probably no business being in the NFL. Well, if there's any glimpse, there's any hope in Shedeur Sanders' success, it's going to be taking advantage from moments like going up against a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Joe, or going up against a guy like Lamar, and building confidence based off of that. Now, the Browns find themselves at the bottom of the division. They completely suck, other than their defense. And you're trying to find any ounce of hope when it comes to giving the Browns offense some inspiration, some confidence to boost their gameplay. Just like the Bengals will give anything they can to inspire and to motivate and to get a good performance out of their defense. Right? So I don't want you to be misinterpreted. We head into the last week of the season. I wasn't thinking about Myles Garrett and his record-breaking moment that he had. If he was going to earn it, if he was going to gain it, he was going to earn it the right way, and he did. I actually wasn't thinking about that on both sides of the ball. You thought that the Browns, hey, the Bengals beat us at home, let's beat the Bengals at their home. We won the last game, let's win 2 in a row to finish off this new year 1-0 heading into 2026. The Bengals, they coming off of 2-game wins. I know it doesn't mean much, but it builds motivation. It builds confidence. And that's what I was focusing on about. What I saw Sunday honestly upset me a little bit. I interpreted this game. It was really a lackluster. And I guess that's what you expect for two teams that aren't playing in the postseason here this month. But it kind of felt that the Bengals offense were avoiding playing against the Browns defense. And I know the rumors all week long lingered around, well, you know what? Guess what? You have Myles Garrett breaking the record. I understand the last thing you need is Joe Burrow to get hurt. Joe Flacco had that one moment where he was in the game. Just, we don't know about his future, if he retires or if he moves on to a different team. But what we do know is, at least from my opinion, it felt like the Bengals ran from that game. Just imagine if we didn't worry about Myles Garrett's record. We played football how we played football. We played aggressive. We wanted to win. And let's say Myles Garrett even got that record, let's say in the first 5 minutes of the game. That's behind us now. We can move on and we can focus on just winning the game. And instead, I felt like we played this catch-up game about the entire time until Myles Garrett broke the record. And what upset me was, like I said, if he was going to win, he was going to win. No questions asked. If he was going to get the record, he was going to get it. Why hide from it? Bengals underperformed. And, the tale of the take is the Browns had 200 total yards, went up against the Bengals 364. The Bengals dominated. They lost 20-18. Shedeur Sanders went 11 for 22, only threw 111 yards, while Joe Burrow went 29 for 39, threw 236, and scored 3 touchdowns, one to Jamar Chase, one to T. Higgins, and one to Chase Brown. So, my point is, I felt like we should have put in things aside to get this win instead of keeping someone from setting a record. And it kind of upsets me because now we come into this year 0-1, and while we see teams making adjustments, Kevin Stefanski from the Browns head coach got fired today. Other coaches got fired today. What are the Bengals doing to improve their team? They're sticking with their coaching staff, and I don't necessarily think that I agree with it. But all it did to me, in my opinion, it gives Cleveland Browns some sort of hope that, hey, 2026 is going to be a better year. Now, I got a chance. It was really impactful in football, and we're going to dive into that later this week. But I kind of focused my attention back on Saturday where the Panthers and the Buccaneers had a battle. Then we saw into Sunday. I watched the Bengals Browns, kind of tuned out the afternoon games, went back, watched the ending to the Steelers and Ravens game. And I just want to say congratulations to the Steelers. It was kind of a crapshoot back and forth at the end of the game. But congratulations to those Steelers. Congratulations to Mike Tomlin and to Aaron Rodgers. Both sides of the ball made mistakes. They couldn't trust their kicker to save a life. And at the end of the day, it was on the edge of your seat. I was in bed watching this game, and I'm like, great, the Ravens are going to win this. They're going to win the division. They're going to go into the playoffs. And they may actually have some success, but they missed the field goal. Therefore, the Steelers run away with that division. We're going to underline the playoffs coming up here later this week. But as of right now, on Saturday at 4:30, we have the number 5 Rams taking on the number 4 Panthers. At 8 o'clock, we have the number 7 Packers taking on the number 2 Bears. That will be a good game to watch as it's a NFC North Division rival. On Sunday at 1 o'clock, we have the number 6 Bills taking on the number 3 Jaguars. At 4:30, we have the number 6 49ers taking on the number 3 Eagles. On Sunday at 8 o'clock, we have the number 7 Chargers taking on the number 2 Patriots. And on Monday, you have the number 5 Texans taking on the number 4 Steelers at 8 p.m. All right. WWE is getting underway to kick off a new year. They actually did that on Friday Night SmackDown last Friday. We'll talk about that later on this week. I wanted to really focus my attention on the 2 championship matches this week that is going to be defended. That one of the matches starts tonight. That's the World Heavyweight Championship, where CM Punk takes on and defends his title against Braun Breaker on Netflix. And one of the stipulations to this match lurks back into the Vision. CM Punk has been battling the Vision since the fall time earlier last year and continues to battle the Vision. You could only help to think that the Vision will have some sort of impact heading into this match tonight. On top of that, Austin Theory lingers around. Now, I've already shared to you my opinion about Austin Theory, but it was going to be interesting how WWE approaches this. Maybe it's a twist. Is there a twist? Or is WWE too predictable heading into this type of match? Is CM Punk guaranteed a win? Is it a clean win? Is it an outside interference? Maybe an accident by their own team member? But one thing's for certain is that the title's on the line. CM Punk is the recent champion who won the title out of all the champions. And is it right to move the title off of him? See, to me, I want to see a shakeup. in the WWE. I kind of want to see titles kind of change hands at the expense of maybe not. It lingers to changing titles, to Braun Breaker. He's a promising athlete who has been pushed very well in the WWE over the recent months. He's taken over the vision with full reins. He's dominated every opponent that he's come to face. And who says he's not qualified for winning the World Heavyweight Championship? But maybe he doesn't win, and it wouldn't be a clean fight. It'd be an outside interference. Maybe, and this is my ultimate prediction, Austin Theory attempts to get involved, but ultimately cost Braun Breaker the match. Maybe it's also Austin Theory who is trying to maybe turns on the vision. I know these are far-fetched explanations, but they're explanations and they're valid in my opinion. So how do you think the match is going to go tonight? Will CM Punk retain the title? And if so, will it be because of outside interference or by the Vision screw-up? Will the Vision get involved? Will Austin Theory get involved? Will they help make Braun Breaker the new World Heavyweight Championship? We will discuss that this week after we watch it on Raw, Netflix tonight. And I also want to talk about this coming up Friday when the WWE Championship is on the line, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, a 3 stages of hell match. And I like the feud and how it's grown over the recent weeks. And I think there's a lot to look forward to on this match this Friday. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Cody Rhodes' championship run the second time around after beating John Cena at SummerSlam, it's been a bit stale. I don't know if people are waiting for Cody Rhodes to turn heel. I feel like that little kid from The Incredibles who's just sitting there on his bicycle and chewing his gum. When Mr. Incredible says, well, what do you want? And he says, I don't know, something amazing to happen, I guess. That's what it feels like to me. I'm waiting for something amazing to happen with Cody Rhodes. I'm not really intrigued in the feuds that he's getting into. Nothing's really catching my attention other than what's going on with Drew McIntyre. I feel like that build-up in that time has come and gone, and we got to work on the next thing. Cody Rhodes has had the title longer than CM Punk. If anyone's going to drop the title, I do believe Drew McIntyre deserves this chance. It provides a change-up. You think about this on Raw, if, let's say, Austin Theory cost Braun Breaker the match, theoretically, you could have 4 or 5 different angles all lurking in that one segment heading into the road to WrestleMania. I think Drew McIntyre creates an opportunity for new segments. Maybe brought this up. A Randy Orton, who just returned last Friday, could be a WrestleMania opponent for Cody Rhodes. That's the only thing that keeps my attention alive when it comes down to Cody Rhodes. Keeping the WWE Championship, if not, just give it away. I feel like it would be a disappointment, though, if both titles retain and we don't progress any forward with that on the line. So what do you guys think? Who you guys think is going to win? Is it going to be Cody Rhodes? Is it going to be Drew McIntyre? What are you looking forward to in this 3 stages of hell throughout the week? We will talk about that as to come. But this is only the beginning. We got other projects that we want to talk and explore. I was kind of running late a little bit on time getting an episode recorded and published. So I do apologize for the shortened time, but I wanted to make sure I shared my thoughts on these 3 titles. We're heading into the playoff season of the NFL. We have the semifinals of the NCAA college football playoffs, and we are officially on the road to WrestleMania. So what does that hold? Well, be sure to tune into each and every episode, like, share, and subscribe, have those notifications on, and thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.